That'll be on. You've been framed next week, yeah. Seems very nice. Yeah, it's coming in lower this time, yeah.
If you look to my right, then the Lancaster is inbound with the Dakota. I'm not qualified to talk about either of these aeroplanes. One's American and ugly. The other one is a waste of 4 Spitfire engines. But I'd be very grateful for the other 3 when mine stopped. Joking aside, the Dakota is a very important part of the flight, a very important part of the aviation history of this country, and all those boys that fought and died for our freedom. As you can see, demonstrated by that fly past, the Lancaster is able to keep up with the Dakota because
It's a bit like this at the moment. Nobody can watch this. That would have been good. It's going to be really good.
Right, let's try this one. This one's got a wire on it.
Whoa! Modern technology!
Okay, look to your front then, Dakota DC-3 leading PA-474, the only one of 2 Lancasters flying in the world, the jewel in the crown for not only the Battle of Britain Memorial flight, but indeed the country. Gentlemen that are sat down behind us. They don't see what all the fuss is about, and it's no point in they're drinking Spitfire beer. They've been giving me banter. And of course the Lancaster, the whole reason that the flight exists is lest we forget. And the Lancaster is a living memorial to all of those fellas that didn't make it, and indeed those guys behind us who've got some amazing stories to tell. But you well know they're so humble. It takes quite a lot of beer and port into them before we get the stories out of them. And in fact, we've had visitors over the years who I've been privileged to meet, and I can't remember whether I regaled the story to you, but I met a rear gunner and I was sat at the back of the Lancaster. He was in the hangar over the winter, and he wasn't disabled, he was just old and he couldn't get into the aeroplane, so his family were in the aeroplane and I was knelt by his wheelchair at the back of the aeroplane, and he was ditting on and telling me stories, and he held my hands and said, just keep her flying, just keep her flying. And I have to admit that we both wept a tear. And Doug's taken on that mantle, the flight's taken on that mantle to make sure that we do keep all of them flying, the Lancaster and the fighters. And it's your support and the country's support that will ensure the longevity of this organisation. The sun shines on us today, but we have to remember that, why we're doing it, and lest we forget. I'm ad-libbing now because I've no idea where they are. Now, if it was me leading, I'd have been back 5 minutes ago. He was a Hercules pilot by trade initially, and then spent his time on 45 Squadron where we poached him. And has now moved to the Sentinel on 5 Squadron up at RAF Waddington. Seb Davey is his co-pilot today. That's Seb's first season as a co-pilot, and he is a Hercules man down at Rise Norton currently. So it's a fairly decent drive for him. But I think most of us would drive that just to fly the Lancaster, wouldn't we?
Definitely.
Adi Hargreaves is the navigator. And then in the Dakota with Tim Dunlop, who's captaining that today, he remains on 45 Squadron, was a Hercules pilot operationally, and then QFI'd on tutors on 16 Squadron at Cranwell with me at the time actually. And then we've got Slough Beresford as the navigator on the Dakota. Simo and Dan are the 2 air load masters, and Pete Appleby's in there as well. I shall come on and take the mickey out of the fighter pilots when I get an opportunity. Rosie is now flirting with the bomber boys. So that's the last we'll see of her, and probably all of them. Right, there's lots of pointing going on. There's lots of cameras being pointed as well. Look to my right. TE311, an aeroplane that is flying largely a result of the efforts of the LLA. 16, which I was lucky enough to fly for the first time in 58 years at the end of last year, being flown by Doug Mason, who is the officer commanding the Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial Flight. 5 Royal Air Force BBMF Spitfires. Libya and the operations that we had over there very successfully. If you look to your crowd front now, you'll see the 2 armed girls returning. There's a stiff old breeze up there today. There's probably 25-30 knots at the altitude they're flying. It's probably 500 or 600 feet at the moment. Then Typhoons, he is now the station commander. He was officer commanding 29 Squadron, the operational conversion unit for Typhoon. And he's flying MK356, which is a silver coloured Mark 9. Typhoon. He was also on the Red Arrows for 3 years. I wouldn't let him in when I was on the team, but he got in afterwards. And then he went back for a 4th year with the Red Arrows after poor old Jarbo was taken terminally ill. And from my right to left. This is a bit different as well for you guys. It's a 3-ship tail chase, 2 ships not unusual. So this will be a worker for the boys. Paying attention to it, so I guess that's the 2 Mark 19 package. Millie and Parky and Station Commander Johnny Stringer coming back into the Mark 9. But we, I think you probably brought the process forward by at least 10 years, and that's probably optimistic. It's probably more like 15. Had we not had that financial support from the association. So I was very proud here last year to fly it. I was the first one that did fly her, and if we look around front, synchro braking in, Dunk Mason braking left, and Goddard's braking right. As I mentioned, this is a game, but we have 2 Spitfires wing. Inside of the turn in the Mark 16, Dunk Mason at the bottom. Goddard, who's doing his last trip today, I believe, in P7350 outside. Beautiful lady, the Lancaster. 7th 1,377 of these aeroplanes were built. 3/4 of them were shot down over Germany. Ours is a post-war example. 44 Squadron was the first Lancaster Squadron, and they very astutely kept hold of her and asked for permission to get her, because she flew up to Waddington on a once-only sortie, but they then very, with a great amount of vision, decided that we would keep her airworthy. The two fighters are holding crowd rear, that's what that used for the pilots. There are 32 Centurions, and what I mean by Centurion price, we wouldn't be standing here as free men and women as we are today. So here she comes with the undercarriage down. Behind her, a couple of miles, they're chasing her down with about 100 knots of overtake at the moment. The Lancaster's wheels are up. Accelerating through about 150 knots now. Cameras to the ready, up with a third right, 2 left. Royal Air Force Battle of Britain Memorial flights. Lancaster flanked by 2 baby Spitfires. For those of you that can still see, the 2 fighters will pull up, almost certainly break right. Great heroic efforts both by engineers and gunners and navigators and flight engineers to get these aeroplanes back on the ground.
So the man can come back to the head now.
It's the nearest thing I have to fly. Using me on the lawnmower.
I sent it privately. Wait, I looked yesterday and it tells you when they've seen it. Yes,
Lancaster.